Hello everybody, today I'll be talking about 5 colorful makeup essentials I'd recommend to you guys. This video was inspired by ANDREEA. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She has a really fun makeup channel. Her makeup aesthetic is definitely a little bit more timeless and a little bit more, I'd say, neutral than mine. And she basically did a video about, I think, a year ago, and she talked about makeup essentials you must have. I thought that since I love colorful makeup so much and I love experimenting with things and I love experimenting with textures, colors, you name it, it would be fun to do a video in which I talk about 5 colorful makeup essentials. Since we're all interested in saving money on this channel, and since we're all really interested in curating our makeup collection and only really buying what we really want and can use for a certain period of time, I thought it might be fun to do this kind of video in which I talk about 5 makeup items that would be very well suited to somebody who is either just getting into colorful makeup or already really into it. And I will be giving product recommendations for each and every single one of these categories, but without further ado, let's just get right on into it. So the very first thing that I think is super important if you want to achieve a really just fun, colorful makeup look that's super vibrant, super popping, super long wearing, it's an eyeshadow primer. And this is one of the items in these categories that I actually took the longest to really find. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer, and this is currently the only eye primer that I've tried that I actually liked, because my list of criteria is super specific. I wanted something that was opaque, something that was super light, something that stayed, something that really helped my eyeshadow adhere to the skin, and something that didn't have that kind of annoying oily kind of texture. I hated that. So I tried several eyeshadow primers, and finally I decided that I didn't want to try anymore, and I basically started using foundation on my eyelids, which worked for a little bit, but then I got gifted this Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer, and ever since then I've been obsessed. This has literally improved my makeup game so much. If you're somebody who is also a colorful makeup lover, you will love this. And it's also really important to have an eyeshadow primer anyway, or at least have something that you're putting on top of your eyelid before colorful makeup to use as a base. It can be a foundation, it can be a concealer, or it can be an eyeshadow primer, but you do need something, especially if you're wearing colorful makeup. Otherwise, the colors won't show up as vibrantly, they won't really perform as well, and when you're using several different colors, it's just better to have a base for them to adhere to so they don't go everywhere. So the next category that I want to talk about would be colorful eyeshadow palettes and or pressed pigments palettes. Now, in front of me right now, I have 2 eyeshadow palettes and 2 pressed pigments palettes. Sorry, my swivelly chair is definitely swiveling. But these palettes are ones that I handpicked from my collection because I felt like these palettes would be good starter palettes if you're interested in doing colorful makeup but you've never really tried it before. I will say that I would like to add a few pictures on the screen that show examples of color stories that I think would be ideal for somebody who is just starting out with colorful eyeshadows. These are some palettes that I do not personally own, but I definitely do think would be great if you're just starting out your colorful makeup journey, if you will. The palettes I have in front of me today include the Pinky Rose Bright Lights palette. This was my first colorful palette, and I really loved this because I was able to experiment with a lot of different shades. This is by no means my favorite colorful palette right now, but as you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, this palette has been well loved and well used. I definitely use this a lot, so I would recommend this as a potential first colorful palette if you're interested in these pressed glitters, that is. If you're not, you might not like this one as much. However, there are a few unique shades, such as this really bright green that I love and I still use to this day. The next palette that I have is the Colors Rain Vivid Pigments and Shadows palette. This is another example of a rainbow palette. What a rainbow palette is when you have, well, this is probably not the best example of a rainbow palette, but I would say that this is a better example of a rainbow palette. This basically includes several different shades of colors without necessarily offering a gradient of those shades. Because if you look at this Colored Rain Vivid Pigments and Shadows palette, you have an entire row of, or entire column of blue, an entire column of purple. So these are gradient versions of these shadows. So that's why I consider this palette to be kind of a rainbow palette, but also not quite, because you do have that gradient effect going on. The Pinky Rose Bright Lights palette, however, not so much of a gradient present there. Another palette that could be an option if you're interested in starting out and you want something that's really large would be the James Charles and Morphe James Charles and Morphe Pressed Pigments palette. No matter what you think of James Charles, this is still a good palette, in my personal opinion. We have a lot of stuff going on here. I will say that if you are willing to still have these neutrals, this palette might be a good option for you. However, if you're looking for an exclusively colorful palette, this is not for you, because there are several neutrals in here. If you're looking for a super colorful, brightly just done palette that doesn't really have any neutrals in it whatsoever, the Color Drain one is an indie brand, and it's a really good option in my opinion. In fact, I like this formula a lot better than the James Charles and Morphe formula. This is the Masquerade by Juvia's Place. This has your neutrals and it has your colors. This is definitely not an exclusively colorful palette. It has those neutrals in there, of course, but if you're looking for, I would say, more eyeshadows to add to your collection, neutral or not, this would be a good option for you, because you can experiment with your colorful shades, and you also have all the basic neutrals you need for literally any occasion. So these are the starter colorful palettes that I would suggest buying. There are, of course, a lot of other really great options if you want to get a specific kind of color story. For example, the Blush Tribe Hasina 2 is a palette that I do own, but I'm too lazy to get up and get. However, I love that palette. It's a perfect palette if you really want to expand your cool tone eyeshadows collection. It is actually one of my favorite formulas in my entire collection. I love that palette so much. It's beautiful. But if you're looking for really like specifically rainbow palettes, these are good options. And I will say that if you are somebody who is just starting out with colorful shadows, you might want a rainbow palette because you might want that variety. Also, another option that I actually did forget to mention would be this palette right here. I'm not in focus. Focus on me. Thank you. This is a colorful palette, but I do think that it's a little bit more digestible than a lot of the other palettes that you've seen so far. You do have your neutral-ish colors, such as this color, this color, and this color. These two shades can also double brilliantly as highlighters, and then you also have two transition colors. I do know that a mustard color is really flattering on a variety of different skin tones and eye colors, whether you like neutrals or not, or whether you like colorful shades or not, because a mustard color, if you swatch it, I mean, it just really bolsters your eye look, in my opinion. This is another transition color you can use, and these shades happen to be really beautiful versions of colorful shadows as well. I find myself constantly using this palette, so if you want to add a few colors into your collection, but you're not looking for like the gigantic rainbow palettes, this, in my mind, is a fantastic option as well. The next thing that I want to talk about, sparkly eyeshadow toppers. Now, yes, I know that I might be a minority or I might be a majority. I don't know. But I love taking colorful shadows and applying like really sheer, really sparkly top coats on top. That's actually what I did for this look today. This is basically an eyeshadow look made up of almost exclusively really shimmery, glittery eyeshadow toppers kind of formulas. What I'm wearing on my eyes today is actually an example of an eyeshadow topper, and you can kind of see the effect. However, I'm not mentioning this product in this video today because I'm still in the process of testing it out. So wait for a future video. I will be doing a run through of what I've been trying and what I've been liking or not. But for now, some eyeshadow toppers that I really do like and think are great options happen to be some of these. Now, of course, there are other options on the market as well. However, these are some of my most used ones. The BH Cosmetics Eye Lights one is a great option if you really want something that would work that's a little bit more dramatic. And another suggestion that I also really like and have used for years would be the Revlon Photo Ready Eye Art dual-ended eye toppers. These are really great because on one end you have a really beautiful metallic liquid shadow, and then on the other end you have like this glitter suspended in like this liquidy clear formula. So you can really do a lot with that, and if you have been watching a lot of my IGTV tutorials, you would have seen that I love using my Revlon Photo Ready eye art. I haven't tried all the colors though, but I really want to. This type of product is, in my mind, a perfect example of an eyeshadow topper because you can use them on their own, but you can also use this type of product in conjunction with powder shadows, cream shadows, whatever you want, and it just elevates the look without being too high maintenance at the same time. However, if you're somebody who is really looking for that light, bright kind of effect, I would highly recommend getting something like this. These are the ColourPop Supernova shadows. Sadly, they've discontinued these two. This was, what was the name? This was Over Again. Love this shade. And this other one is called From the Valley. These were the perfect duochrome kind of shades, but they do have other shades on the website. And I have like a ton of other shades from this line, and I will say that all of them consistently are really good. So if you see one of these colors on the ColourPop website that you like, then of course get it if you want an eyeshadow topper, because what's really nice is that you can sheer these out and you can really create like a beautiful film of shimmer, sparkle, and you can add that sort of like duochrome effect to your eyelids. It's really fun to do that. However, if you're looking for something that's a little bit less messy, I would suggest this. This is also from ColourPop. This is their Super Shock Shadow. This is their Ultra Glitter finish, and this is in the shade Ladybird. Now, what's nice about this is that this, when you apply it, it's like this sheer wash of glitter that is super fine. Really, I would say, adhering to the eyelid, and it doesn't really go anywhere. This is a really great way to add that, I would say, top coat to your eyeshadow look if you really want to amp up the center of your eyelid, if you want to add that inner corner, or if you just want to add something all across the lid. This is great, especially if it's on top of other shadows, because say if you have like an opaque blue shadow and you're applying this on top, you instantly have that blue eyeshadow amped up like 1,000,000%. But the Ultra Glitter finish from ColourPop is a really great option if you want that kind of topper effect. And I honestly think that if you're interested in colorful shadows, might as well try like the duochrome topper kind of thing as well. That's just my personal opinion. Speaking of glitter, I want to talk about these. These are two of my favorite glitters ever. I have a lot of other glitters, of course you guys know this, but these are my top picks. These are the Lemonhead LA Space Paste, and I have two shades. I have Adult Film, which is my most used shade. I absolutely love this sucker so much. I wear it all the time. And then I have Malibu, which is the same thing as Adult Film, but it's just brilliant and blue and gorgeous as well. I use this all the time as well. I love these so much. I will say the Adult Film definitely has the sort of like holographic effect. Once you put this on top of other shadows, it instantly takes the color of that shadow underneath, and it makes it super like holographic and iridescent and absolutely lovely. So these you've seen a lot on my channel. You might just recognize them already, but I think if you're a colorful makeup lover, these are great options because they can really amp up your look. Next, if you are a colorful makeup lover, I would highly suggest trying out a colorful lip product. My color of choice when it comes to lips would be red and pink. I love a good pink lip. These are two of my favorite pink lipsticks of the moment. I have the MUA Makeup Academy lipstick in the shade Pansy. This is like a beautiful mid-tone pink. It's a little bit of a warm effect. And then this is the Milani lipstick in shade number 15, Hot Pink Rage. This is like a neon pink. I love both of these. But really, like, honestly, if you're doing colorful makeup, just experiment a little bit on your lips as well. I really like using lips as a way to make the eye look even more just vibrant and make the entire effect of the look so much more just interesting. Yes, today I'm wearing a nude lip, but guess what? I do love my nudes, but I love my colorful lip looks as well. So if you're interested in colorful eyeshadow, I'd highly suggest trying out a few colorful lip colors as well. Just look around, see what color best suits you. I, for one, prefer a pink because I feel like pink really pops on my skin tone, and I really feel like this like kind of bright pink as well really works well to bolster any kind of eye look that I might have on my eyelids at that moment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that it was useful to you. Again, these are all options. These are not like requirements if you want to get into colorful makeup. These are just options for colorful makeup lovers. If you want to really delve deeper into the colorful makeup realm and you're interested in experimenting more, these are some great products to try out, or these are some great categories to invest in if you want that kind of really fun, colorful, just va-va-voom effect. I love all of these items so much. So thank you so much for your time today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it interesting, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye guys.